Welcome to Austin Startup Week. I'm Kevin Lantroop, the Vice President of Defense at Capital Factory. I'm very excited to host this track today, Innovation in the National Security Community, thanks to the support of Microsoft. We're going to have four very exciting sessions today. We're going to start off with Kurt Delbenny. Kurt's the EVP of Corporate Strategy at Microsoft and also a member of the Defense Innovation Board. Kurt will be talking with Jen Savada, the Chief Futures Officer at Mission Tech, and a former Air Force Intelligence Officer and Human Capital Professional. Next, we're going to hear from Paul Puckett, the Director of the Army's Enterprise Cloud Management Office, known as ECMO. And then following that, we're going to have a dialogue between Doug Drakely of the Joint Artificial Intelligence Center and Ellen Shang, an investor and tech insertion expert with BM&T. Before we head into that awesome lineup of programming, we're going to hear a few words from our sponsor, Microsoft. Please bring up Mark Valentine, the General Manager of National Security at Microsoft. It's great to see you again, Mark.
Hey, Kevin. Thanks for the time today. Yeah, so Kevin, thanks again. I'm honored to be here to kick off a discussion on innovation and national security. It really excites me because this gives me an opportunity to talk about really my three favorite things: national security, innovation, and the people that make that happen. So the national security side, prior to coming to Microsoft, I spent over 2.5 decades in uniform, primarily in the cockpit of an F-16. So really, I was at the end, if you will, of that national security whip. I love talking about innovation because at the end of the day, because of what I did, I saw what worked and what didn't work. And I also saw the variance between what looked really good on a set of PowerPoint slides at headquarters versus what ultimately got fielded. And because of all that, I really do feel a deep sense of responsibility to help all my friends and colleagues who are still in uniform do their job safer, more efficiently, and ultimately more effectively. And then that brings us to why you all are here, and that is the people that make it happen. So the startup community, I honestly believe, are the critical drivers of innovation across this space moving forward. And as we talk about technology and innovation at tech companies and startups, we spend a lot of time talking about the innovation and research and delivering and driving that innovation. But for a quick second here, I'd like to take a step back, channel a little bit of Simon Sinek, and lead with why. And if we investigate that question about why is innovation so important in the national security community, I think what most people will find is that innovation has really been a foundational element of national security since we were founded as a nation, and especially since the Industrial Revolution kicked off. The U.S. military has always sought a technological advantage in everything it's ever done, whether it was deploying people, planning campaigns, moving vast amounts of equipment around, securing the force, building weapons, and everything that it took to sustain that force. And really, over the past 100 years, we faced a couple of strategic challenges and choices that we had to make, where if you go back to World War II, we pitted technology against just mass. And that was the form of the nuclear weapons debate. And clearly, the United States chose the technological solution. If you fast forward a little bit to the Vietnam era, once again, we pitted technology against mass and ended up going with a technological solution around stealth technology, around precision-guided weapons. And that is where the source of our advantage has been. We are now at what some call a third offset, or some call a fourth industrial revolution. And once again, we're seeking to maintain our advantage with the help of technology. The difference now is in those previous strategic choices that we had. These were large, huge capital investments. And that drove a set of behaviors, both in industry, towards consolidation and large companies who could accept that risk, as well as an acquisition system that was built, quite frankly, to buy aircraft carriers, ICBMs, and the like. And, much like then, we're facing that same choice, but things are different now in that many of these technological advantages are coming from the commercial sector, and national security users are adopting and adapting those technology to their use cases. And, oh, by the way, many of the United States' adversaries are adopting those technologies much faster. And that's where I think you, as the startup community, come in to help. So I want to get to really now why you're really here, and that's to hear from some of the real experts. So I'm honored to introduce the speakers for our main event here, and that's going to be Kurt Delbenny and Jen Savada. The topic of the discussion is going to be, the national security community industry and how can they act more like a startup. So Kurt Del Bene, by the way, has the coolest job at Microsoft, and he's who I want to be when I eventually grow up. But he's the executive vice president of our corporate strategy and dual-hatted as our core services engineering and operations lead, which is all of our internal IT. So he leads the company's cross-engineering and cross-business strategy execution and planning initiatives. Prior to coming back to Microsoft in 2015, he was helping President Obama with healthcare.gov and worked directly with the Health and Human Services Secretary in that. Kurt also serves as the executive sponsor, so my mentor in the national security space, with our relationship with the U.S. Department of Defense, and serves on the Defense Innovation Board, where he has advised DoD on just about everything from how to acquire software to network security to the adoption of 5G. And now I'd like to introduce also Jen Savada, who's a fellow retired Air Force officer and a fellow alumni from a small engineering school in the foothills of the Rockies. She is the Chief Futures Officer and Senior Vice President and General Manager for DoD and Intel at Mission Tech Solutions. And prior to coming there and joining the private sector, she served for over 25 years as an Air Force intelligence officer and held high-level positions across the Intel community, including she was the Chief of Talent Management for the Deputy Chief of Staff of ISR and Cyber Effects. She was the Head of Private Sector Engagement for that same organization, and also a Wing Commander for the Air Force Technical Applications Center. And then she is listed as a member of the Forbes Top 50 AI and Government Influencers, and has been involved in numerous nonprofits to include currently serving on the board of directors for the Defense Entrepreneurs Forum. So Kurt and Jen, welcome to Virtual Austin. And after this quick video, we'll hand it over to you. Thanks, Kevin.
In today's world, events move faster than ever before. Our military forces need a fighting edge that only technology and the latest in cloud innovation can deliver. Microsoft Azure Government is the mission-critical cloud built to support the Department of Defense with their toughest missions. The intelligent cloud provides powerful analytics and predictive insights so military forces can take action with speed and agility. While true hybrid consistency and interoperability enable an intelligent edge, with access to data and advanced capabilities everywhere from the headquarters to the field. Azure Government delivers cloud innovation with an open, flexible platform and unmatched options across tools and services. Military leaders can leverage an array of services to build strategic advantage. Microsoft provides advanced cyber threat protection of vital technology resources and carries more security and compliance certifications than any cloud service provider. Azure Government offers dedicated data centers for the U.S. government and their partners at Impact Level 5 to support mission-critical DoD workloads, meeting DFARS requirements and supporting secret-level classified data. Azure Government is helping shape the future of the military with its game-changing, innovative, and trustworthy technology, and bringing mission-critical cloud transformation to the DoD.